On today's video, Kingdom 196, the winners of Eve of the Crusade, are going to go up against two kingdoms, 86 and 157. The two kingdoms paired up to go against the biggest, most overcrowded kingdom in our Lost Kingdom. This video is going to cover a little bit of what happened in that war. We're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about what mistakes were made, how things were planned, how things came to be what they are, where we stand today, and where I think we will be in the future when it comes to this part of the war. So sit back, enjoy the video. If you find it informative, helpful, useful in any shape or form, hit a like on the video. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. The open field combat is here, and this is the beginning of Kingdom 196 against 157 and 86. Now I'm gonna use this camera border as a reference to what the map is, so for you guys to know plus minus where we are on the map, Kingdom 196 is the top right corner, Kingdom 157 is the center right, and Kingdom 86 is up in the center. What you guys are seeing here is the first small strategy that worked out pretty decently for LG. These guys have 7 alliances that have 7 sub-alliances and 7 academy alliances. These guys could have dropped like I think 12 to 15 forts in one shot. So what they did is they had all these P forts dropping around the map. And the plan behind this was to essentially bait some of the flags by the opposition into that area. So we all popped a skill, a fast flag building skill, which by the way, a lot of people had issues with. A lot of people had it lag or not work well, or it took too long for it to activate, and then by the time it activated, the lag killed it. It was madness. But what Legends Gaming did first and foremost was drop a few of these forts in locations that were pretty close to Kingdom 157 and to Kingdom, I think 86, they did it in that side as well. 157 went for the bait and definitely built flags and picked up 3 of these shells really quickly. I don't know how much it actually helped Legends' situation, but it's kind of cool to think about that they dropped a few bait forward-facing forts to try to get the other kingdom to deviate from their flag plan to try to catch a fort that is closer to them that really had no meaning. So that was a very cool play by Legends Gaming. But now let's talk and start with Kingdom 157, who, quite frankly, both 57 and 86, there isn't much to talk about. And I'll tell you why. These guys played the perfect setup for Lost Kingdom. They played Lost Kingdom like it wasn't the first time they actually had to fight a Lost Kingdom, and they knew exactly what they were doing. We're talking about consistent flag pressure, consistent rallies, consistent defense on their flags, continually reinforcing rallies, continually reinforcing flags. You're going to see a few of the reports that we're going to be seeing. There is 2 reports in this video and not more than that because a bunch of the footage got destroyed. I'm not going to go into the details, but whatever. 157 and 86 did kind of what JWM did, which is brute force, continuously attack, continuously defend, continuously be in the enemy's face until the enemy blinks, and when the enemy blinks, they take a tile, they take a flag, until the enemy crumbles. That is essentially what Kingdom 86 and 157 did. BBTH and S157 split up and Mad, I apologize, and Mad as well, split up and each went to their own target. Mad going straight up on the side of the map, 157 kind of going, S157 kind of going up but a little bit to the center, and BBTH aiming more towards the center. Now on top of all this, Kingdom 86 didn't really go towards the center first. They straight up shot sideways first to go catch the side of 196, while Mad went for this side, and then 157 kind of went this way and then curved back up. So 157 and Mad were really going up, trying to take care of this area as much as possible, and 86 just went straight, and their idea was get to the gate, lock it out, and then go around the wall. Now, that's pretty much what I have to say about those two kingdoms. Why? Because there isn't much to talk about. They did everything they needed to do. Keep pushing flags, keep reinforcing troops, keep healing and shooting those rallies out again and again and again. Keep building flags to potentially hit 2 targets at the same time. They did all the offensive plays necessary to always be in the driver's seat. What I want to talk about more is Legends Gaming side, Kingdom 196, who, even though they were going up against the 2v1, had all the necessary tools to win that war. First and foremost, they divided up. What they did is Legends Gaming 5 took the bottom, Legends Gaming X and later on 47 joined them, went towards the top, and a couple of other Legends Gaming came to help across the board, and the 3 main alliances took care of the center. Now, the way this works is LG1 is the top alliance, LG47 is the second, LG2 is the third, and then you have LG5, LG7, LGX, LGP, and a bunch more. So what they did is LGX and LG47, the sub-alliance, were supposed to take care of the side, and LG5 and 7, I think, were supposed to take care of the bottom, while LG1, 2, and 47 built a center corridor to try to lock those two kingdoms away from each other. They took both the center passes, LG2 and LG1, and started building across. LG2 waited until the flag building skills were for sure done and then dropped the flag right next to the middle level 5 pass and built that way. And LG1, I guess, had a little bit of a trouble with their flag building because they took a little bit too long to get that cut going. And that gave BBTH from Kingdom 157 enough time to intercept that attempt to cut. You can see right there, Kingdom LG2, sorry, doing that as I was saying, and LG1 weren't really able to get there yet. I think these guys are Wing. Wing managed to meet up with the folks from LG2, and there were massive fights between these two guys. I'm going to show you one insane report towards the end of this video, so you really want to stick around for the video, even though it's a little bit long, but it's shorter than the previous KVK coverage videos. As you can see right here, LG47 went in. As soon as they saw that LG47, the lowercase alliance that was on the top side, were gonna get hit by IKM, they came through, helped out, burned a little bit of IKM. IKM brought a secondary alliance to double rally. It was just nuts. But the problem here was, the idea was sound. The idea of having the 3 main kingdoms, 3 main alliances kind of cross and make a line so that they separate the 2 enemies from each other, even though technically they could drop forts on each side, but still, have that separation would have really helped Legends isolate the 2 double rally situations. Although again, you can drop forts, which, by the way, 157 at some point, who are in the center area, dropped a fort much closer to where 86 were to help them out with a double rally. So all that was possible. But the thing about this war was an unfortunate situation which was foreseeable for a few of us. Now, I know that this video is going to get massive hate and massive dislikes, especially from the community in 196. Primarily because they think that, based on a few things that were told by very credible individuals within 196, I was either a spy, or I'm a hater, or I don't know what. And so a lot of people don't really know the reasons why I'm leaving 196. A lot of people don't really know my intentions and don't really know anything about what I feel about 196. But I've been in Legends Gaming from before we chose Kingdom 196. I've been in Legends Gaming from the day we planned on having Kingdom 200 for ourselves. And I've been in Legends Gaming doing the amount of accounts we did, myself and another leader, who then turned on to be a complete hater, turns out. Me and him sat for hours and hours to make jumper accounts until we finally got Richard unlocked and all that. And all that got thrown out the window really quickly by a little bit of ego and a little bit of, I guess, lack of, we weren't transmitting on the same lines, I guess. And All this is important for you to understand because what I'm going to say is going to be a little harsh and it's going to be a little inconvenient, but it's the truth. Legends Gaming in Lost Kingdom 1 had very little opposition. They had a little bit of opposition, but not enough for them to truly be challenged to the point where they had to rethink their strategy. They did have to fight, but they never had to rethink their strategy. And then, as they were dominating that Lost Kingdom, the floodgates of migration happened. And when you're not careful about who you let into your house, it very quickly becomes a very big mess. And what ended up happening in this Lost Kingdom is that, quite frankly, not enough people showed up for war. And it's excuses from here till the end of the world and back. I've heard every single excuse that I'm sure all of leadership from LG have heard about people and why they didn't show up. But the bottom line is, the only way to win a Lost Kingdom is by putting in the troops, not like you're seeing right there on the battlefield, but in flags and in rallies. Now, that example is not a good example because LG47 did everything right. They put the flags down. They cleared the open field when they needed. You guys can see right there the cutting starting to happen. You guys can see LG2 trying to make their way forward. You can see where you could see for a moment where LG1 had their cut coming in as well. But unfortunately, BBTH managed to get there first. And so LG47 did everything correctly. But the most painful thing to see was how little people actually showed up for what matters, which is rallies and flag defense. That is also where you get dead troops. And that is also how you either win or lose a Lost Kingdom. In my past 2 videos, a lot of you gave me a lot of crap about talking about mentality and leadership and all that stuff. But I want to show you guys a case in here where a kingdom was so crowded and had such a crazy good infrastructure, and yet the lack of the right set of leadership, which I'll explain why and what it means in a second, and the lack of the mentality and morale that I've been talking about for 2 videos now, was what made Legends Gaming lose. Leadership. I'm not saying there's no good leadership in 196. Some of the leaders in 196 are amazing. I was under a few of them. I respect a few. I respect the majority of them. I think a lot of them are very, very good at what they do. But at the same time, there was too much micromanagement and too little separation of what I would call micro cells. So when you have LG 147, 2, 5, 7, X, P, D, H, W, R. It's just, there's so many of them. Half of those what I said are not. You had 1, 2, 47, 5, 7, X, and a couple of others. And each of them had to be micromanaged by the 1 or 2 or 3 people. It just became crazy. The way this should have worked is each one of these LGs was supposed to be a micro cell. And that micro cell was supposed to have its own functionality. And that's kind of what they tried to do. But when one micro cell needs help, all the others need to figure out how to even up the power. And the problem was, people never showed up. The main force never showed up. Knowing Legends Gaming and being part of the founding team of Legends Gaming, I took an extra effort in making sure I document a few of these things. Look at how this is set up right now. Look at how Wall, Mad, all have this area cut out. BBTH cut off LG1 from future flag, LG1A from a future flag that you have to fight now. And some of these folks showed up on the open field but not into the rallies. And I kept track of 50 players. 50 players, out of which a big part were tier 5s. There were over 10 100 million power players in there. And a few tier 4s who were OG first crew kind of guy. And out of those, the top 10 with the most kills, 2 of them were tier 4 players in the top 10. And 3 of them were OG tier 5 players. The other 5 were I get where the leadership primarily, people like NK lost his butt off in this war, and where were the others? How come in the top 10 there are 2 tier 4s in the death count out of 50 people that I tracked? It tells you who showed up and who didn't to the actual fight. The open field combat is fantastic. You can get all your points and all your kills and all your achievements without losing a single troop. But without being inside that flag while it's being rallied, and without joining the rally when the other side is being rallied, nothing is achieved. And so leadership had a tough time controlling that many people. And when the morale and mentality of the people wasn't we win at all costs and we're willing to sacrifice everything, it's not doable. I really want you guys, before you go comment all the crazy stuff that I know you guys are about to say, go take a look at JWM, go take a look at Kingdom 196, and then tell me if Kingdom 196 doesn't have bigger wallets in there. They have more 100 million power players, they have much more tier 5s, they have much deeper pockets, and yet they haven't won. And it's not that, and now you're going to say, oh, it's a 2v1. It's the mentality behind the alliance. It's the culture of the alliance. It's the willing to sacrifice in the alliance that was not there. And that cost them the match. The plan was sound. The plan was actually very solid. Even if the sides fell, the guys who made the center corridor could have tried to keep holding back. But the big problem was, once those sides were taken out, what would you think? 86 and 157 wouldn't drop forts on opposite sides to try to double rally? Of course they did. Now, I'm not saying nobody showed up to fight. Okay, time out. Because I'm going to show you a few reports in a moment of insane defense by LG, as well as crazy rallies. LG2 against Wing, in that side cut that you guys saw that Wing got into, had massive fights. LG47 had massive fights, holding flags and burning flags. These guys literally held their own flags, burned enemy flags, as well as got burned. This was one of the only places where the flags on both sides actually burned and got destroyed by each side. And that was really cool to see. 163 versus 149, which is a video coming up in this week, still also had that kind of situation. But in here it was much more severe because LG, all they needed was the people wanting to lose troops. The people like myself, for example, who didn't care for open field combat but cared for filling the flag at all time. People like the folks that were OG Legends Gaming who cared for 196 enough to be able to be willing to lose everything for it. This is LG1 holding onto a flag. Look at how many troops were in there. Oh, almost 10 million troops made it in there at the end of the day, which shows there was a little bit of commitment for a while. But if we look, you're going to see some of the same names show up again and again. PJN showed up here quite a few times. King showed up here quite a few times. Mad showed up here quite a few times. We saw Fall of Rome, Lord. These are the same folks over and over. Every other March is PJN. Pennywise. Mad. Lord KT again. Hollow again. All of these troops were the same. Like, you can count the amount of names in like 10 hands. That's who held that flag. But those are only 10 members out of 150. Where were the rest? And those kinds of losses, you cannot sustain as 10 people. It's not possible to sustain that. Some other flags had a little bit more diversity. And those are not the only people who showed up for war, okay? There were other flags with other people. But if you look at reports, and 196 shares some reports with you, you'll literally see that a lot of these flags have a lot of repetitive troops in them. While if you look at the side of BBTH, of S157, of IKM, of Wing, and all that, when they were holding flags, you're not going to see that many repetitive amounts of troops. And that means that more people are spreading the loss among each other, and therefore more people can continually fight. 10 people losing 60,000 troops is much, much harder to keep holding on to versus 100 people losing 6,000 troops. It just is what it is. And so the strategy was sound. The bait forts worked really well. The flag positioning was kind of cool. But the people never showed up. And when the people never show up, what can you do? Let's go back for a moment to 157. 157 executed really, really nicely. Mad went straight up on the side. You guys saw them earlier in a previous clip. AWOL or UWOL, I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, kind of cut more towards the center. S157 kind of cut more towards the center, and BBTH went straight to the middle and cut off LG1. The same can be said about IKM, who used wing to go cut off LG2. IKM to go clean the side with one more alliance, which I forget who they are, so I apologize for that. But the idea was, first of all, let's clean that side and that pass, close one of their 4 passes, and then we go towards the center to fight, which is what they did. This is an LG2 amazing hit. Look at how many troops were in that rally. Look at how many troops were in that flag. These are the alliances that showed up to fight. And LG2 is not the biggest of all, but they had the heart of Legends Gaming. They had the heart of what I was there to help with build. This is what you should have seen out of every rally from Legends Gaming if they showed up. And so to wrap this up, as we're watching BBTH keep burning this LG1 flag over and over, Fall of Rome and PJN literally holding on to this with Mad and with Pennywise by themselves. Massive credit to these guys who did give up everything for 196, and just it wasn't reciprocated by so many others who seem to have only come into 196 to win rewards. What is going to happen next? I don't think this is the end. And I also think that 157 as well as 86 know that this is not the end. I think that 196 might be able to not make a full comeback, but to potentially make a push. I don't think they'll be able to make a push out towards zone 6. But I definitely think that some flags and some fighting and some chaos in zone 5 might still happen. I don't know whether their spirits are broken or not. I don't know whether they decided it's not worth it or not. But I can tell you that there are a few folks in there still willing to fight. And there are some very good leaders out there who can lead them to a certain victory. Not to victory, but to a certain victory. Look at that counter rally right there by King Camister. I mean, that guy did, even though he talked massive trash in Lost Kingdom, did so much work that I can understand why he was doing it. Congratulations 86 and 157. You guys did stupendously well. 157 is such a strong kingdom and such a cool kingdom. And thankfully, they did share a lot of things with me, but unfortunately, as I was recording, I was also fighting, and my phone, that isn't my older phone, in the middle of all the footage, updated, and Game Launcher corrupted all the files, and so I had a little bit of the beginning that I had already downloaded off the phone very early on, and a little bit towards the end, which was pointless. The main beef went away with the update, so I apologize for that. But I do think that there's a lot to learn about this fight, and that maybe after this video, which is going to get massive hate by 196, the community might see a kingdom that had the money and the people to get the work done, but didn't have the leadership and mentality for it. And when I say leadership, I don't mean that they didn't have good leaders, but just it's not easy to lead that many people. And if you haven't experienced a war, which the Legends have never experienced a war before, it's very hard to be able to control everything and to keep your eye on everything and to trust certain individuals to do certain things. It's just too much. And here once again, a counter rally on the rally on BBTH. By the time that rally is gonna go, there's gonna be one more rally coming onto this flag. Madness all over the place. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. It was helpful. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for all your continuous support. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Enjoy your rest of Lost Kingdom. More coverage coming very soon. 163 against 149 is up next, and we have some cool videos coming out from those fights. Take care. Peace.